everybody, it's your boy Jumpman Crypto. Welcome back to the Crypto Plebz channel. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Your boy is feeling like $1,000,000. I had to get some much needed rest. You know what they say, man, health is wealth. And your boy is recharged and I'm ready to go. The market's been pulling back. So I figured that, you know what, let's get a live going. Let's talk to the family. Let's see what's going down. And let's find out what's going on. We're gonna go down lower. What's up? Let's get a chat real quick. Everybody hear me nice and clear, because you know your boy always fumbles all the time with these lives, man. I always forget to turn my audio on. If you guys can give me an audio check real quick. Amanda, what's good? Peter, what's up? Jasper, what's up? Jacob, what it do? Steven Ortiz, what's poppin'? What up, what up? Mic check A1. Good. All right, well, first things first, man. We can touch on what happened yesterday. You know, I've been kind of, just like I said, going hard in the paint for the last 4 or 5 months. And no sleep, working a lot, just grinding. And you know what? I think my body finally just gave out on me. And I had a little health scare. Everything is okay. We went to go get things checked out. They wanted to do a couple EKGs on me. I have a really bad issue with drinking a lot of caffeine, and that's definitely not good. So, you know, I just had to take a couple days to kind of just chill. I am still drinking caffeine, but I kind of tapered down a lot. And, you know, look, you know, making money's cool. You know, it's great to have money. It's great to make money, but I think, you know, we all got to make sure that we're taking care of our mental health, making sure that we are taking care of our spiritual health, and most of all, make sure we're taking care of our physical health, which I think spiritual health is more important. But, you know, and I haven't really been taking care of myself. And, you know, look, you know, yesterday was a really bad scare for me. I spent almost 12 hours in the hospital, hooked up to IVs and cords and stuff like that. And that's definitely not somewhere that I want to be. And that's definitely somewhere that my family doesn't need me to be. So thank the good Lord, there was nothing going on with the ticker. And, you know, I do have some, you know, little bruised up ribs and stuff like that, but it's nothing that I can't bounce back from. So I just got to chill a little bit on the gym. Sometimes I go a little too crazy in there. I'm not young like I used to be, but, you know, look, man, I definitely need to start, you know, making some adjustments in my life. But, you know, look, duty calls. And we're here to talk about crypto, and your boy's back. I'm ready to, you know, see what's going on. You guys have any questions? I know a lot of people are hitting me up. Jump, what's happening? The bull market over with. You know, and I've kind of touched on this in both Discords a couple of days ago, or yesterday, I'm sorry. And, you know, look, I think a lot of this is just, you know, there's a lot of leverage going on in the markets. You know, a lot of people are using more than 10x leverage. And a lot of people are trying to, you know, make generational wealth using leverage. And, you know, there's a lot of market makers out there, guys, that are just flushing out these people. And then also, you know, profit taking. A lot of crypto coins have gone up 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% in a couple of weeks. So it's only natural that, you know, there's going to be some type of correction. So I know a lot of people got into crypto late. I've seen a lot of inflows and new members, a lot of people that are very happy to get into the space. And that's the reason why I've been really trying to get everybody to calm down and to, you know, relax. But, you know, I get it. You know, when FOMO hits, and a lot of people have been really anxious to get in the market, and we had that pullback as expected. And now a lot of people are doing what they do best, panic selling, and they're starting to freak out. But the real G's here, they know what's up. You basically have to just weather the storm. And, you know, people that were bullish on XRP at 365, you should be bullish on XRP at 295, 265, 255, 165, wherever it's at, guys. Look, nobody has a crystal ball, and nobody's going to be able to tell you where the markets are going. So just, you know, understand that these are just little cycles that we go through. In the bull market, it's very common to have, you know, 20%, 10% corrections. It happens all the time. So there's nothing that, you know, is out the ordinary. So I do think that, you know, once we do find a bottom, we'll definitely start to, find the next leg up. We do have these ETFs and stuff like that that may have been delayed because of some XRP issues that are kind of delaying everything. But regardless, it's still going to happen, guys. It may not be on your watch or my watch, but it will happen eventually. So, look, it gives us more time to load up. It gives us more time to strategize when we're going to take profits. So, at the end of the day, you guys should be using this as a blessing. One thing that I've always coached out for both Discords is that never to deploy all your money into one asset. It's better to take a very conservative approach, deploy, maybe 10, 15% of your dry capital into these cryptos, and try to just have a plan. I think the people that are getting wrecked right now are the people that are just going all in. So, with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into the show. And just remember, guys, everything that I say is just pure speculation. I'm just a regular guy like you trying to make it in this industry. So please don't go out here, selling your wife's jewelry. Please don't take mortgages out. Please do not put more money that you can afford to lose in this space and try to come look for me, because I will tell you, just like every other YouTuber, I don't know nothing. I'm just a regular dude. So please don't come for my head. So with that being said, let's get some more chat messages real quick. Jonathan C, how much caffeine is too much? Hope you're getting better. Well, I'm not sure. I know that I am probably, I don't know how much caffeine's in sodas, but this is my second today. But usually I'll have maybe 2 Celsius and a few diet sodas a day. I do a lot of work. I own a business, and then I do a lot of stuff with Discords, and I just do trading and stuff like that. And, look, it just takes a lot to stay up. Sometimes, when you're trading and stuff like that, stuff happens in the wee hours of the night. So something that I got to work on. So definitely, adjustments will be made. Let's see. Neb, praying hands. Thank you. Yoli Banker, take care of yourself. Definitely. Germ, rest up. Take it easy. No doubt. JD or TD, not financial advice, just educational entertainment purposes only. You got it. LTGG420, glad to see you're doing better. No diggity, no doubt. All right, guys, enough of the formalities. Your boy is okay. Let's get down to business. All right, so look, crypto markets seem to be pulling back. I think somebody just said right now Bitcoin was at 16.6. Oh yeah, we're dumping lumping. Let's check everything out real quick. Yeah. Good old Bitcoin. Honestly, forget Bitcoin. It doesn't even matter. Let's check out XRP first. All right. So XRP is at 309. Look, I'm gonna be real with you. You guys should just already be ready to come down here to this 285. Probably even lower than that. We might even come down here to 270. It already looks like we've already hit that top point. I think with all this stuff that's going down with these ETFs and stuff like that getting delayed, that already kind of shift the sentiment of being bearish. Obviously we're not going to get these rate cuts in July, so I think now it's just basically board up the crack house, and it's time to find out where the next level, where we could bounce from. So originally I had it here at 270. I drew one out. It's already been invalidated already. I put 310. I think we went right past that a couple days ago. So I think right now 285, 290 is a safe place to watch. I wouldn't do anything right now until we can really see, what we're looking at. But these wells are going to just keep playing games with us, guys. I always tell everybody, look, TA is great, but, this has been a very, very, very crazy cycle. TA basically just records and tells you past experiences, but at the same time, we have a whole different scenario here. We have a different president. We have a whole different ball game, different players. So, it's good to use TA. I don't always live by it. I tend to always like to look at previous bounces, and that's how I basically try to find my entries. And then, I go off the RSI. Last week when we hit that 365 on XRP, I was telling you guys, please take profits. I had a lot of people even telling me it's going to go higher, it's going to go higher. But, you know, look, you got to go off these very fundamental indicators. When they're screaming, you know, at 90 and 85, and they're just screaming at you guys that we're going, that, you know, we're overbought, you have to take these things into account. I know a lot of people that just continue to ride their bags down, you know, and that's not good. You know, part of being in crypto is protecting your capital. You know, you got to kind of turn off the blinders on a lot of these YouTubers. You know, you have to think about it. These guys are partnered up with exchanges. They're partnered up with a lot of other big sponsors and stuff like that. And their job is to keep you buying it. Their job is to keep you, you know, watching their content. And, you know, yes, you could even say I'm an influencer. I work with a few exchanges. But, you know, look, I'm always going to keep it real. I'm always going to keep it 100 with everybody. You know, I could give a damn about all that other kind of stuff. You know, I got money. I don't need to sell anything to anybody. You know, it's always great to make sponsorships and stuff like that, but, you know, we definitely don't want to hurt anybody out here. And crypto is a lot like, you know, stocks on crack. So, you know, definitely if you're not being cautious and you're using too much money in this game, you will get hurt. So, look, if things get rough, we could go down here to 220. You know, I mean, I know that's just crazy. You know, last week I was thinking that, you know, there's no way we could break below 265, but it just always seems that there's just something always transparent in this market. So, you know, it's you know, now it's just like it's up in the air. So, you know, look, let's just keep an eye on this area right here where we had this bounce from last time, which again would be the 285. I know Keenan said something about 290. And definitely, you know, it was close from hitting that level. I'm not exactly sure where he said it was at, but I'm looking right here at this 285. And then again right here at 268. So just keep those on your radar. You know, maybe we might not go down that low, but our previous wick was at 296.49. So keep that on your radar as well. If we break below there, definitely would start putting some entries here at that level that I told you guys. So, you know, that's just kind of unfortunate that, you know, we're getting a lot of this weakness right now, but, you know, this is just the way it is, guys. Let's cover Avalanche real quick because this is one token that, you know, I've been really loading up on. I had a stop loss hit on me this morning and I lost a little bit of money. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. You know, and all this is kind of going off of Bitcoin right now. You know, whatever Bitcoin's doing, alts are going to follow. And what I'm really concerned about too is this Bitcoin dominance. If we start creeping back up to the 65, 64, 66, and even getting closer to the 70, we're going to have the exact same thing, guys. People are going to start panic selling, moving into Bitcoin, which they probably should have already done already. But, you know, this is just the way it is. So on Avalanche, the support level that I'm looking at is 2062. And could we come down here, you know, below, up here to this 19? Possibly. We even have support down here at 1786. So right now, I'm not on that bear camp right now, but I do have some buy orders here at 2060. I have a pretty good amount of stables right now. I recently just sold off of my Solana position. I got out at 200. So I did put some of it in AVAX, like I said in the Discords, but right now I'm just chilling. The majority of it's sitting in stable, so I want to see how much lower we're going to come down. You know, if we come down here to these lower levels, I will definitely scoop up. And the reason being why I got out of Solana is because I see a lot of influencers talk about Solana's going to be going to $400, $500. I don't see it. I think that, you know, the top first salt was, you know, having the, you know, president launch a meme token on that chain. So, you know, ETFs are bullish, of course, but I just don't see how, you know, Solana could go past that. So for me, I had Solana anywhere between 240 to 280, you know, and honestly, I think that 220 to 240 would be more realistic. So, you know, at $200, you know, that would only be $20 upswing, and I only had about $20,000 to $30,000 in there, so it wasn't that much of an ROI for me. So I figured that, you know what, it'd be better to move that into AVAX, which AVAX has a lot more room to run. So I'd be basically compounding that money up for higher gains. So, you know, if Solana were to come down to 150, maybe 160, maybe I would entertain buying it back again. You know, Solana is a great strong coin, but just right now on a risk to reward factor, I think AVAX is going to give me a lot better return on that. So that was one of the main reasons why I'm still in that coin. You know, one thing also too is that, you know, you got to be mindful about vehicles that you are moving into. You know, if you're moving into a coin that moves faster, if you're looking for short-term gains, then obviously, you know, Solana would be a better bet. But if you're looking for longer term growth, you want to be looking for coins that have not ran up yet, that have more of a potential to run up, like Aptos, even Cardano maybe. And there's a few out there. There's a lot of coins out there like that. There's been a few like even Polkadot, but I would argue that there's really no fan base behind there. So, you know, you want to look for a coin that's relatively in the top 20, maybe even the top 30. So, you know, AVAX for me fits that criteria perfectly. And also too, you know, AVAX has a lot of stuff going for it. I was going to make a video on it, but I figured I'd just hop on a live and maybe talk with you guys about it. You know, they're starting to have a lot more TVL, more active wallet addresses that are signing on for the first time. You know, I'm seeing a lot of global adoption with these guys, and they just have so much partnerships. I've talked about this so many times about the FIFA thing, but you know, I think that, you know, there's just so much more. You know, I know they had the partnership with California, DMV. So there's just so much stuff that, you know, AVAX has, the gaming, the RWA, ISO 22 compliance token, you know, and gaming has not had its run yet. So once it does have, we do have a proper, you know, gaming cycle, you know, coins like BeamX, coins like Carrot, Magic Eden, Heroes of Mavia, Gala to me is smoked, so I wouldn't really look at that one. But there's a whole lot of gaming coins. There's a lot. But for me, like I said, you know, BeamX would probably be the best choice out of all those. And then, you know, they had Gunzilla and tokens like that. So, you know, will we have a gaming cycle? I don't know. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. The games have been pretty shitty, you know, on their platforms. But you know, maybe somebody will be able to make a good game, so we'll see about that. But let's see. Let's check out another token real quick. Let's talk about Parcels. I know a lot of people are into Parcels in both communities, and you know, people are concerned about, you know, some of the price action. I shared this chart with you guys this morning, head and shoulders. You know, look, I had some buy orders down here at 7.5. I did take a little long today on Parcels. Made a nice little 36% on it. Then I went ahead and took profits on it because I just saw the way how the market was already starting to retrace back. So I just closed the trade out. But, you know, Parcels is just, you know, it's looking bearish like a lot of these other altcoins. You know, it was showing a lot of strength at that 8.9, but it's already lost it. It's at 8.5. So we want to see where we're going to come back next. And, you know, look, around this 7.6 up to 8.27 is going to be that range that I want to pay attention to. If we start breaking below 8 cents, that's going to be an area where we need to keep an eye on. You know, could we come back down here to 6 cents? Definitely. You know, this all really depends on bad data. Oh shit, I'm not even sharing my chart, dude. What the hell? Give me just a second. Lord have mercy. Well, luckily we're up late tonight, so we don't got much stuff to do tomorrow, so I can redo this real quick. We didn't get that far into the stream, so boy's slacking. All right, so let's start back. My bad again, guys. I gotta get better at this. Okay, so this is a chart right here, head and shoulders that we talked about, and I think everybody kind of knows about XRP already, so we can go back over that, and we'll go back over AVAX real quick. So the head and shoulders right here, okay. We have 82, like I said, 82.7 all the way down here to 7.5. Okay, so we want to pay attention to this 8 cents. If we lose it, we're gonna come down in this area right here, and definitely we could come down here again to the 6 cents. So I have buy orders down here. I bought 50,000 tokens today. Not a lot for me. If we go down, you know, it's not going to bother me a little bit. So, you know, I'm more interested if we can come down here and we can pick up at that 6 cents. That would be a really big pickup for us. So let's just keep these on our radar. I don't think we'll go down that low, guys. You know, But we just got to see what's up. I know the markets are just real panicky right now because of these little dumps, but I just honestly think that, the markets are overheated, man. We ran up a lot. It's been a lot of bullish stuff, these last few weeks. We're finally getting this global adoption, so maybe this might have been a sell the news. But, look, for me, I think, this area right here would be a great accumulation zone. We can scoop up in this box area, again, between the 7.5 and 8.2. So just keep that on your radar. If we come down there, I would load up there. If you guys are taking leverage positions, I would definitely wait until we can hit a drop and get a bounce. Once we get that bounce and then we can consolidate, then I would probably take a long from there. I think right now for me, this is a no trade zone right now. I want to see consolidation. If we can get a little bit of consolidation and just show some strength where we want to move back up, then I would be, tempted to take a long. I haven't really been trading much, guys. I haven't really been feeling the need to because, some people in my group, they do. But for me, I like to trade whenever there's a drop like this, which, I would say, hey, it would be a good time to get in a long. But like I said, I just want to see if we can range for a couple days. I know we have a meeting next week with Jerome Powell. I think it might be Friday, or something like that. But I want to wait to see how the market reacts to all this because for me, until we get this FOMC meeting, I'd rather just wait. Because, once we get this meeting and then once we actually get this drop, if we don't, we're not going to get the rate cuts. But once we get that drop, I think the markets will start to look forward because they'll be expecting the rate cuts in September. So from there, I think we'll get that drop and then we enter our trades, swing trades or spot positions, and then we go up from there. That's just my opinion. So maybe 5-10% more on some of these alts, and then we'll go from there. And then let's go back to AVAX real quick. That way I can pull that chart up. And again, I'm sorry, guys. I am not a professional YouTuber yet. Okay, so we talked about, the 2065. 2065 was going to be that area where we wanted to find that bounce. So right here, we'll put this on your radar right here, guys. 2065. So you can put some buy orders down there and you can basically just stagger them down from this wick. We had this big wick up this morning. I had a stop loss here. I was so pissed off, man. They literally kissed it down here. I lost some money. Not a big deal, but then I went back up. I woke up this morning and it was back at 24. I was like, damn it. But it is what it is. I'm not really a big fan of stop losses, guys. We use them and we have to tell you guys to use them because, for you guys that are newer into crypto, we definitely don't want you guys to get hurt and lose money out here. But, look, I know where this market's going. AVAX hasn't had a proper run up yet. So, I'm okay if I come down here. The majority of my buys were down here in 17, 15 when we dropped during the summer, and then even during April. So I'm in a good spot. So I can afford to go down a little bit lower, but I know sometimes people sweat with stuff like that. So that's when I tell people, look, if you have profits, it's good to secure them and just make sure that you guys are protecting that capital, okay? Everybody's different. Let's check out Ethereum real quick. Let's check out ETH. ETH is at 36.28. I think earlier we're even kissing down here to 35. Yeah, man, it's just crazy, dude. Just a lot of volatility right now. Basically everything's kind of doing what Bitcoin's doing. Personally, I've been really bullish on ETH. It hasn't hit an all-time high yet, so Solana, Bitcoin, BNB, XRP, they've all hit all-time highs except for Ethereum. So I think that this is the next coin to do it. Maybe 5,000, 5,200. I can tell you right now, when we hit 5K, you might go to 54, 55 maybe, and then you're going to have a really, 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 really nasty pullback. So for me, once we hit that 4,900 and we go past it, my stop loss is being set there. I don't care. I've said 4,200, but I'm convinced now that we will have an all-time high for ETH. you know, I know a lot of people don't care for it, but you know, guys, look, one thing that I don't like tribalism in crypto. You know, I've been supportive of the XRP community. I've been supportive of Bitcoin maxis, and you know, look, support ETH. Okay, it's the #2 crypto for a reason. You know, it's the coin that all the stable coins are running off of. So you gotta show some love for ETH, man. If we don't have, you know, an ETH rally, a lot of these ETH memes like Pepe, Chainlink, and all these other coins, they're not gonna have their bull run. So, you know, just look, be happy for different chains. You know, don't be a tribalist. Okay, it's not cool in my opinion. You know, I don't like people that hate on XRP. You know, I like to tell jokes about them sometimes, but it's all love. You know, all love but respect for XRP holders. You know, I think that, you know, it's just, you know, I like to joke around, but, you know, I think if there's one cryptocurrency that's been really doing really good, it's been XRP and HBAR and XLM. So you got to tip your hat off to them. But at the end of the day, people got to show their respect for ETH. You know, it's definitely still a force to be reckoned with. So, look, if we get bearish, you know, if we come down for ETH, maybe set an entry here at 34.84. I think that would be the lowest, you know, that will go. So just like I said, keep that on your radar. Put that on your buys if you guys want to get into ETH. You know, I do think there's a lot better plays out there than ETH. AVAX, you know, would be one of them. And so keep that on your radar. I'll let you guys give me some coins next. I covered some of the ones that I love. You guys can tell me what you guys want me to cover, and I'll put it in there. Let's cover Aerodrome real quick. I know a lot of people like Aerodrome. I love Aerodrome. Let's see. All right, so Aerodrome looks okay. Let's clear this off. Let's see. So we had that flash wick last night, 8.6. Looks like a double bottom here. Neo. I made a poor decision to buy. Yeah, give me just a second, bro. Okay. So, yeah. Arrow looks okay. I think, honestly, if we get a little bearish, set your buy orders right here at 79 cents. 79.5 to be exact. Set some buy orders there. And if we get super, super bearish, could come down back to 67 cents. Not out the realm of possibilities here. That's only 23% down from there. But I think let's cross one bridge before we get there. So 79 would be somewhere I'd like to start from. Set some buy orders there. And then we'll go from there. Aerodrome. I just did Aerodrome right now. Neo. And then we still got to do that $500 challenge. Man, I'm sorry. I've been slacking, dude. All right, so Neo. I don't even know what this is. Oh, my God. My man. What is this? Okay, so this is an old token right here. Can you tell me a little bit about it real quick in the chat? I don't really know much about it. I mean, I have a few of these, man. Don't feel bad. Down 75%, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. You said you got in at $7, so it's not too bad. Yeah, it's already not doing too well. If you don't mind, if you can tell me in the Discord if you want to keep that anonymous, just tell me how much you're down. I can just be real with you. I don't want to do it here with everybody, you know. But yeah, I mean, this thing could come down here to 544 real easy, bro. That's the support that's down there. So it's a Chinese token. Yeah, definitely not good, my man. You can come down here to this 536. So, look, man, if you don't want to lose any more capital, bro, I would probably set a stop loss, man, at, maybe 16.20, 16.19, and just wait. See if it dips down lower. If it dips down lower, you can buy back. And then, hopefully we get a bounce back up, and then you can at least try to break even. We already came down right here already. So, if we come back down here, maybe we can bust out a lower high at maybe 589 maybe. Just keep that on your radar, man. But yeah, you don't want to take these kind of plunges down, bro. That's kind of a nasty dip to take, man. That would be 33%. Definitely don't want to do that. For me, anytime we start getting lower than 10%, it's that time to really think about, do you want to take more of a ride down? When you start getting down to this 20%, 30%, 40%, that's gruesome, man. You got to tell yourself, like, look, I'm only willing to lose this much capital. It kind of contradicts what I said about it being an investment, but at the same time, you don't want to take those type of investments where you lose, more than probably 15% on a crypto investment. So, like I said, for the people that, got XRP at 365 and you start taking these, big tumbles down, you're losing money like that. So you always got to tell yourself, look, what is the max amount of money that I'm willing to lose on a trade or a swing trade, and stay firm on it? Because look, that stuff is nasty, dude, man. You put in 10 G's and you go down 30%, you're losing, quite a deal of money, okay? All right, let's cover, so we just did Arrow. We'll cover Pith in a minute. Pith, okay, Morpho, Prime. Let's do Prime real quick, man, because Prime looks really bad. Prime looks really, really bad. Oh my Atlanta, wowzers. Okay, yeah, Prime doesn't look too good, guys. Okay, likely to come down here to 209. The last bounce up we had right here is 187. Really nasty, man. It's really unfortunate, man. All this stuff is really irritating to me. I've been in this coin for a while. I told you guys in a few of the other live streams that we had, I got in at $3 last year, got in at 18 bucks, got out at 18 bucks, and then got back in at 5 and basically took a haircut down pretty much 50%. I didn't take my own advice there, but I didn't go back in with that much capital. So, I made about 40,000 on it, went back in it with 5,000. So I'm down about maybe like 40, 50%, 2,500, that kind of money right there. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it was a small position. So I still believe in it, but definitely it sucks, that this thing should be a lot more, but just with the token dilutions and unlocks, man, this thing has just gotten beaten down so bad. And this whole AI gaming coin, it falls in that same niche, and it's just been very, very, very sad to see. So look, again, that low that we had here was going to be at maybe $2, and between that 180, 186. Okay, so keep that on your radar. I still believe in it. Okay, very small position in my portfolio, very small. I think that once the narrative comes back, it's one of these multi utility coins, not utility coins, but it just has utility functions, like it's a AID pin / gaming token. So it's pretty cool. I always tell people, look, go on CoinMarketCap, go to the webpage, check it out. There's a lot of really cool things about these cryptos that that you should always check out. Just don't buy them because Jump says to buy them. Look into them, look at the narrative, learn the project, see the founders, if they're docs or not docs, see who is invested in them, see when their token unlocks are. I could tell you guys, show you guys, but I'd rather show you guys where you can do it yourself. Don't rely on me because, hey, you never know. One day I might take off, or one day, hey, I may not be around. You never know. So you got to learn how to do this yourself. What's really sad is when I see people, ask other people when they should get in and get out of projects. I think that's a big no-no. I'll give you guys little hints and stuff like that. I'll always help out and give you guys some help, but it's always great to do it yourself. You don't want to rely on anybody to know when to get out of coins. Like, we can look at them all day. We can draw little stupid lines everywhere, and we can act like we can predict the future, But at the end of the day, guys, look, it's just a matter of, you know, where the markets think that, you know, this coin is going to go. So we do have a double bottom here, you know, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You know, if the markets are just bearish, then the coin will still keep going down. So I may buy some when I get off with you guys because, you know, look, 222 is a good deal for me. You know, we're pretty much at this double bottom level. So if you guys are, you know, wanting to get a little bit more exposure to Prime, not a bad idea. So, you know, keep it on your radar. Let's check out Pith real quick because I know a lot of people like Pith. Good old Pith. Same thing, double bottom. I mean, a lot of these coins are double bottoming. And you guys know that double bottoms are bullish, you know, as long as, you know, the conditions are met and we can go back up. You know, I'm still hoping this bad boy can at least get to 50 cents from where we are. That would be almost a 4x, you know, so you put in 10 G's, that's 40 G's. I'm not saying that's where it's going to go, but, you know, look, a lot of these coins are already at their bare bottoms. So, you know, these are high risk, high reward plays. You know, again, you have Chainlink and you have Pith. Pith is going to be that one that, you know, could pull a rabbit out at its hat and it could end up going to $1 and you can get a 10x. But it all depends if these teams can execute and they can get these partnerships and get these, you know, users on board. So, you know, Pith is still bearish. You know, it's been pretty much dumped from their own people. You know, all these unlocks have really destroyed the project. But, you know, I think that, you know, this thing can turn around. I've seen a lot of crypto coins make really big comebacks like XEN. There's been a lot of coins that just came out of nowhere and they end up doing 20x's. So, you know, I'm convinced that Pith could do it. So, again, guys, still holding on to this one. Definitely not one of my glory calls that you guys know me for, but, you know, if I was just giving out every play that was just rock solid, you know, your boy would have 100,000 subs. And, you know, look, we're going to have some losers, you know, we're going to have some winners, but I think that the winners that I've been calling out far exceed the ones that are outperforming. You know, like I said, you guys know that I'm humble. But we have a 5x on syrup. We called Sui from the bottom, almost a 3x, 2x. I mean, pretty much everything has been a 2x. I mean, we got Ondo at 69, 70 cents. We got Parcels, you know, at the bare lows. You know, we called Solana bare lows. So a lot of these coins are already 2x. You know, some of the coins that we did get out to you guys, they've even 3x. We got Aero around 40 cents, 2x. So we have a lot of 100% returns. I know, you know, those 100% are scoffed at. A lot of people want these 1,000s and 2,000, 3,000% gains, but a lot of these coins have already had their big run-ups. You know, a lot of people think we'll have this one big run-up and that's it. You know, I'm kind of on that camp as well, you know, and the reality is that, you know, this bull market, it might be gassing out soon. I don't know, but for me, like I said, I've always said that I'm just looking for 200 to 300% returns, and that's it. I get in and get out, get in and get out, and I find the next play. So again, I keep shifting you guys back to AVAX. That is a one coin that I believe that has the ability to run up. You know, again, we can use Sui as a reference. Sui is like just stuck at that $4. So you have a high probability of coming back down to $3.25 to $3 because it's just that wall there that it can't break because it doesn't have the ETF money, it doesn't have retail, it doesn't have that big backing to push it up to that next level. All this is right now is just you and I and Wells and institutions that are basically fighting with one another. But we need that retail adoption to get us in there to catapult us to the next level. So until we get that, you know, this is where we are stuck at the moment. So, you know, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And, you know, look, I can tell you from experience that when you sell your coins or you get out of your positions, that's when the market will run up and that's when the markets will finally go to the Valhalla and you guys will be on the sidelines crying And we don't want that, guys. We want to make sure that, look, we are staying focused, staying bullish, and not putting too much money in that you can't afford to lose. So Pith, again, guys, you know, if you're looking to find a better entry, you know, maybe we can set some buy orders here at 11.47. You know, look, I think this is a really good leverage position. You know, if I had the choice of just holding this spot or actually doing a leverage position, you know, I'm not saying to do this. If you guys are looking to do leverage trading, Femex is where I do it at. Shout out to Femex, by the way. Maybe catching something down here at this 11.51, 3-4x leverage, move in with some size, put a 2-3% stop loss on it, and, you know, look, roll the dice on it. And if you can find a good drop, even if we come down here to, you know, this 10 cents, find a good area to get in and take a, you know, 3x leverage, and you can literally hold this until we get back into the promised lands, and you can make a lot of money versus just buying $5,000 or $10,000 in spot. So you can take like $1,500, $2,000 and move in with some leverage and probably make more money than you would just hold in spot. So not financial advice, but this would probably be a good leverage position. Maybe even do $500 and just catch a good low, wait for this thing to bottom out, put nice little 3x on it and see where it goes, man. I think that, you know, look, Pith is going to be fine, but it just got to get that adoption. And, you know, with this whole thing, Solana going with, you know, Chainlink didn't really help it out. So kind of sucks for Pith, but let's check out Link real quick. Now, Link is a token that, you know, it's pretty much, you know, like XRP, you know, it has its moments and it just fizzles out. We have a same thing like a lot of these other cryptos right now. The Head and Shoulders, this thing has a target down here at $14. I don't think so at all. Look, support's down here at 1640. Maybe setting up a trade down here at 1703. Like I said, I would be more interested in picking it up here at 1643. I love Link. Link is a really bullish crypto, but obviously, you know, even if, you know, you don't even have to be a charting expert, you can just literally see the Head and Shoulders right here. Very obvious play out. So look, the drop, we could still bleed down here to that area. So if you're looking for Link, I wouldn't buy it up here in these $20 zones. Definitely, you know, maybe 16, 15 will be more appealing to buy. So if you guys can hang tough, you know, and set some orders over there, maybe we'll get lucky and snatch up some Link on the low. Alrighty. Let's check out Morpho real quick. Morpho looks good, man. I've been actually really surprised. This thing has been really doing well. It's obviously down from its high at 225, you know, but still looking good. 186. You know, look, if it comes down here to 178, I think, you know, I'll load up some more there. But my bags are pretty much packed on Morpho. You know, if I had the choice of being in this one or Aave, I would probably go with Morpho. You know, Morpho, like I said, has that Coinbase adoption, and it has, you know, the ability to borrow against your Bitcoin. And, you know, look, my money's with Coinbase. You know, Trump is cool. I know Trump's backing, you know, Aave, but, you know, I've been a real big pusher of, you know, the World Liberty Fi tokens, but I think it's also good to have a portfolio kind of away from the political spectrum a little bit, you know, just in case things don't go too good, you know. And for me, Morpho checks just a lot of the boxes. It's the number 2 DeFi token, so sometimes I like to be in those plays. You know, once you're the number 1 person, you know, there's not much more to achieve. So, you know, for me, Morpho is just that one that I'd rather be in. It had its previous high around $4, so I'm still gunning for this all-time high. Maybe we can get back up here to maybe $5, $7, maybe even $10 if we get this super parabolic bull run. But it's a newer token backed by Coinbase. I've told you guys already know what it is. Told you guys this 1,001 times, but You know, Morpho is one of my biggest holdings as well, and I'm bullish on it. So just keep these buy alerts over here at 178. Then we have more support down here at 166. Say is another good coin. Say what? Okay, Say. So we've already broke support down here. I've had that chart way back. This was the golden zone right here. We broke below it, so I think we may come down here to 29 to 28. I think I set this one out this morning to you guys. It's still the same. We've lost support, so usually when you lose support, usually you'll come back down to the next level of support. So this one I'm just chilling, man. I'm waiting to see, you know, where it's gonna come down to. If we keep breaking below, especially if we lose that 30-cent zone, definitely 29's in the card. So again, guys, keep that on your radar. This one's still the same, hasn't changed. 29.23 down here to 28.03, and we could even come down here to 25 cents. What we don't want to do is come down here to 16 cents. If we come down here, I don't know, but I think everything's fine. We're just gonna, you know, try to find a new area to, you know, build up on. So just keep that on your radar, my dudes. All right, let's see. Bitcoin is sitting on my line. Sonic. Yeah, man. Sonic was another one that I got into and just sucks. 31. So keep this on your radar. The 30-cent mark, 29.99, but we'll just say 30. We want to see if we're going to hold there. If we come back down, then we're going to set some buy orders up at 26.20. That would be a great zone. That would actually be its new low. Newer token. It's a rebrand from Phantom. You know, I think that, you know, look, this thing is really bearish. It's down, what? Almost 80%. So not looking good. I bought it because it's a newer token, rebrand. A lot of upside, just got put on Coinbase. So, you know, look, I'm looking for things that I can 2x quick. You know, we can catch this thing down here, maybe at 25, even, you know, 30 cents flat. I'll put some more back in and just see if we can get back up to at least 60 cents, get a clean 2x. And, you know, if we blow past it, we'll just put that stop loss there and secure that profit. But, you know, could this thing go back up to $1? Definitely, without a doubt. But like I said, the conditions need to change, guys. You know, I don't know what's going on right now. Initially, I thought all these stuff dropped because I saw that Trump was in the Epstein list. You know, I don't know if that's a thing or not, but, you know, before I started seeing about the leverage and stuff like that on CoinGlass, I thought that, you know, Trump being on Epstein's list was one of the main reasons why it caused a drop. You never know, man, with this kind of stuff. I mean, back in 2020, 2021, you know, the markets fell almost 80, 90% because Elon said that he didn't like Bitcoin. And, you know, so, you know, look, it's crypto, man. You know, we can dump for the most stupidest shit. So just always remember that. All right, let's see. Tezos. Shit. Yeah, this one had a pretty good pullback too, man. Double bottom. So we got a double bottom right here, my bro. Or not really, but lower low, but maybe put some buys at 75.07, 68.73. I don't know too much about this one. Usually I'm pretty laced up on a lot of crypto, man, but this thing is took a pretty nasty tumble. Down 30%. Shit. Yeah, so set those buys there, my bro. If you gotta rewind the video, set those there. Let's check out Near Protocol. Damn. Bro, things are just dumping, man. Sucks. 16%. 2491. 241. Set some orders there. And just kind of DCA down. I don't know if we'll come down here to 234, man, but just set those orders there, my bro. Definitely, you know, just like everything else, man, doesn't look good. All right, let's check out. Definitely, bro, dip before the rip. You're right. Let's check out Fartcoin. I'm not really into whiff right now, bro. That's trash, man. I'd rather be in Fartcoin, to be honest with you. Yeah, this one's down massive too, man. All the Sol meme tokens and even the Sol ecosystem has just been smashed, man. Like one of my plays of Camino is just same thing, man. Just not doing good. Fartcoin's down almost 25%. We got some support over here at 118. So if you want to get back into Fartcoin, you know, 119, 118, you know, definitely we could come back there. You know, it's the same thing, man. No momentum anywhere. I want to look for a bounce though soon. If we can maybe look on some smaller time frames real quick. Move down to the 10-minute real quick. So in the smaller time frame, maybe 121, 121.615 could be. Maybe we can get a bounce down from there. That's about 8% from there. So keep that on your radar. Fartcoin's a real bullish coin, but remember, guys, we called that out at 89 cents. So if anybody, you know, is freaking out, remember we called that at 89 cents. When we got this thing down here, man, we called it way down here, dude. Way down here. We called it way back here. So if you guys have been rocking with me for a while, we gave you a clean 2x. Clean 2x. So you guys should have already taken profits already. You know, even if you got in a little late. I remember I was kind of telling you guys about 90 cents too. Still up 66%. So, you know, like I said, you got to protect that money, man. Let's see. Let's check out Bitcoin real quick. Oh, shit. Holy mackerel. Damn, bro. What the hell? So we have a CME gap at 114. Just remember that. Right down here. Let's see. So CME gap is at 113.730. So we are really close. We're about about 1.7% away from there, almost 2%. So Bitcoin could go down there real easy, man. That's really shitty, dude. Damn. Virtuals, no, I'm not holding that, man. I had to trim down my portfolio a little bit. I got out of that a long time ago. I usually don't post when I get out of stuff, man, you know, because especially with certain coins on market caps, because just how big the Discord is, you know, especially with certain smaller caps, virtuals is definitely not a smaller cap, but you know, things with Parcels and stuff like that, you know, you can have mass community sell-offs and stuff like that, and we have a big community, so we don't want to do stuff like that. And at the same time, you know, it's kind of against my rules. I don't really tell people, you know, when they should sell, You know, if you guys are tapping in like you should, paying for the doctrine, you know, you guys are tapping in with us, you guys should already know my thoughts and what I preach to you guys about getting out of tokens and stuff like that. So, you know, you got to think about it. You know, some of the stuff that's out here on free, like, you know, when I hop on, you know, YouTube and stuff like that, I just do it to help you guys out. But, you know, the alpha's where it's at is in the discords, man. You know, in the doctrine, you know, we're teaching people how to take profits, when to take profits and stuff like that. So, you know, you guys are wanting to upgrade your memberships, you know, it's inside the description and stuff like that. I never force that kind of stuff on people. You know, I know that some people have their, you know, thoughts about stuff like that, but it's always good to look at it as an investment in yourself, guys. You know, you're getting information, you know, how to take profits and stuff like that, which is probably the most important thing being in this space. You know, so please consider investing in yourself. All right. Jonathan Brown, blessings, everyone. Good night. Good night, my man. So yeah, man, Bitcoin is not looking good. Took that nice little tumble down. Everybody's taking profits, selling. Let's check out ETH real quick. I'm sure ETH's at 2K now. Just joking. Oof. ETH looks pretty good though. I mean, ETH's only down 6%. It's only down 6%. It's down 4% on the day. 4.7% on the day. So yeah, man. Let's check out some more stuff real quick, and then we're gonna wrap it up, man. I gotta get some sleep. Let's check out H bar for the homie real quick. H bar. H Barbarian, not too bad, man. It's not doing that bad. It kind of is. It's down 20%. Okay. 22,495. That we need to get a bounce there, guys. And then we have some more support down here at 19 cents. So just keep that on your radar, my dude. If we start going down, that's where we want to hit some buys at. We got that inverted head and shoulders. Even if I were to take this off, it's obvious you can see that shoulder, head, and shoulder right there. So maybe we'll get a bounce. You know, maybe it would be somewhere where we can hopefully get a bounce back at its previous low at 23,178. You know, but we just got to see, man. I think if you're trying to play it smart, hit that level that I told you in the 22-cent zone, okay? ETH is getting that big. Oh, I can't say that. You're going to get me in trouble, P. Come on, man. Oh, you're acting crazy, my dude. All right, let's see. Let's check the comments, see if anybody put something in here. Amanda said, get the doctrine level. So valuable. You are right, ma'am. I see you in there. You're always in the lives and stuff like that. Appreciate it, ma'am. You are a rock star. Soul 176. All right, man. I don't know. Might be a buy. It might be a buy right now. I don't know. Let's see if we can scoop it up here, though. Let's see if we can get to 169. If we can get back to 169, I'll buy back. But, you know, still think we can come down a little bit lower. Maybe 173. I'll buy back in. That Trump indicator. Yeah, I know, dude. We need one. Why is he saying some more BS? All right, let's see. Just looked at. So let's look at Camino Finance. Oh, man. Damn, bro, this sucks balls, man. 24% in a freaking 4 days, man. It sucks, man. 20%, dude, in 1 day. Ondo or ADA, which one has good potential to the upside? Man, I'm probably gonna have to go with Ondo, my bro. Ondo for sure. You know, ADA, man, it's, you know, legacy coin. You know, hasn't hit its all-time high since the last cycle, but I don't know, man. I just think that, the market cap's too big. Ondo, it gets really bearish at times, man. But I think that, look, for me, Ondo just has a lot more of that institutional backing than ADA, in my opinion. So definitely is something that you should keep on your radar. My boy Salvador Limon, aka Mr. Chava, is a Caspa lover. Shout out to my boy. Caspa is a big no-no in my book. Shout out to all my Caspa holders, but I'm not a Caspa fan, man. I typically don't like to get back into assets that I sold off. I got a 20x on that, but shout out to anybody that holds that token, man. All love, but not for me. When Shai started getting real crazy with all those posts, man, that was just for me a signal to get out. He's left. He's moved on to go do other things. For me, I think they got smart contracts or stuff like that coming out in August. I don't know what they're waiting for, but I think they should, definitely follow through with this August, or this is going to be a big bearish event for Caspa. I really would like them to see, to try to get back up to 30 cents to get some, some momentum back for their community. But, look, I just, for me, it's just not something that I want to get into. Maybe if we go back down to 5 cents, 6 cents, I'll consider getting back in. But for me, it's just not worth it, man. So again, on Camino, I probably will take a buy right now. I would probably set some pop shots over here at 5548 and try to stagger them in between where we are right now. But Camino Finance is really bullish, man. I just don't understand, what the deal is with a lot of these tokens, man. They have so much stuff that they offer, and they just continue to go down, 20%, dude. So it kind of sucks. It is what it is, but Camino is one that it's a new token. It just came out, so I'm bullish on it. I think that this thing can go to 30 cents. So I'm going to continue to stand on it. And let's cover ZBCN real quick. I know that's one of my members' favorite coins. Shout out to Mexiverse and his boyfriend, Crypto Mindset. Those guys are real bullish on it. He says it's going to do 100x, but if you guys have been rocking with Jump, I put you in this token in around March. Since then, it did an 8x. So I don't know what that dude's talking about. Like I said, again, if you guys need to fact check me, you guys are more than welcome to go inside the KGU, scroll all the way up to April, and see when I first talked about ZBCN. And you guys will see the exact date when I talked about it. 800% return. The money has been made already. I recently took a position back a couple days ago. I bought in right here, so I'm still up. May end up giving some of it back because the markets are just going to crap. But, this thing still has some leg room up. Maybe it might go back to where it was previously at. That would be a nice little 80% return, so I'll take it. SP Vlogs, hi bro, do you remember me? I do not. Say your name, maybe I'll remember you. Have you talked about Pith? I talked about Pith. VeChain or Moonwell? No, I have not. Honestly, don't waste your time with Moonwell. It's better just to get into Morpho. My opinion, Morpho is better. Moonwell, it's going to be okay, but I just think that if you're looking for that DeFi lending, Morpho is going to be the way to go. VeChain, one of my favorite influencers that I watch, AJ Writes Crypto, he's bullish on it. I know they got that partnership with UFC, so maybe it might materialize. I'm not sure. SP Vlogs live from India. Oh, I think I remember you, man. You were in my last video. Sent some blessings your way from the last video. I remember you. I remember things like that, man. OP, Optimism. Optimism is not doing good, man. I can tell you right now. I bet you it's at 60 cents. Boom. 67, close. These layer 2s, man, I think a lot of them are just bearish. They got really no use case anymore, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm going to go with a layer 2, I'm just going to go with, Aerodrome Finance. It just makes more sense, in my opinion. So yeah, you can stagger some buy orders down here at 63 cents. You know, we start getting bearish, guys. Come down here to 62, even down here to 59. So just keep that on your radar. Love from India. Love from India, my bro. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Let's check the total 3 real quick. All right. Yeah, so I mean, you know, we broke down from this high right here, double top. So retracement down. Maybe hopefully we'll see, you know, we can come back up soon. Maybe we can get this bounce at maybe 3.7 trillion market cap. It would really suck to come back down here to this 362. So just got to keep things on our eyes, guys. Things don't really look too good. Fetch AI. We'll check that out real quick and then we're going to wrap it up, man. If you're looking for AI coins, man, you know, I don't know if these are really bullish right now. 68.5 Chava, that would probably be somewhere maybe to look. We can get a bounce maybe. It wicked down here to 705, so hopefully we can make that push back up. Definitely not bad. Down 20% though. 5 days. Did you talk about S? You didn't finish out what you wrote, bro. Man, fetch is down big time, bro. Damn. Down 80%. Maybe, man. We can catch a low right here somewhere, and that might be a nice little play. Maybe we'll keep an eye on it. Nice 2x to get us back to where we were in December, so definitely, you know, we can run back up. Yeah, we already talked about it, man. Sonic, yep. Alrighty, man. I think we've been live for what, let's see, an hour and a half almost. We're gonna talk, I guess. We can just talk about some other stuff real quick and I'm gonna hop off, man. Does anybody know when our FOMC is? I want to say it's Friday. Let me ask ChatGPT real quick. When is FOMC? 29th. All right, so that is in 5 days, so next week. All right, so we need to keep that on our radar. Again, guys, we're not getting rate cuts. I think it's what, 4%. You know, I think we can all establish that. What are the percentages? What are the odds of a rate cut? 4%. So yeah, it's nothing's changed. So, you know, look, I think we're not gonna get them. Okay, I don't care how much Trump's pushing Jerome Powell to do it. We're not gonna get it. I think it's just a matter of looking out for key details of when we're gonna get these rate cuts and start to plan up ahead of it. So, you know, look, maybe I'll live stream that. We can just hop on here and just stream it out, and we'll see what's up. But for right now, you know, obviously things don't look good. You know, if you were bullish on crypto, you know, last week and you guys were FOMOing in, you know, at things at local highs, you know, would it be a bad idea to, you know, DCA on some crypto? I don't think so. So, you know, look, I know this kind of stuff sucks. You know, we always want crypto to go up and go up and go up, but in reality, there's going to be pullbacks. So, you know, just look, stay level-headed. You guys know where to find me. I'm in the Discord 24/7. And if you guys are looking to upgrade those memberships, you can look for those in the description. And you guys are more than welcome to always sign up to my Patreon Discord. I do one-on-ones with everybody there. I do a lot of, you know, things that help out the community. And if any partners that want to reach out to me, the email is there. You're more than welcome to reach out to me. So with that being said, I'll wait a little bit, man. If you guys have any more questions for me, you guys can ask me how I'm doing or whatever. I'm not gonna look at any more crypto, but if you guys want to just ask me a few questions, I'm more than happy to chop it up with you guys a little bit longer. Better days ahead for sure, man. You just gotta be patient, you know? I mean, look, the markets are obviously, you know, the markets, but look, I think we can all agree we're a lot better off than we were a few months ago, okay? You know, shit sucked then, so just hang tough. You know, I can tell you right now, look, I know that it sounds like a broken record, but ask a lot of the OGs in the Discord. Ask some of the people that are in the Discord right now. Ask the people that are in the comment sections that have been rocking with me for a while. I have been saying the same stuff that I have been saying since January from when I first started working with KGU, is to buy, drown out all the noise. And a lot of people have made a lot of money. You know, I like to tell these stories about the people that I've encountered. I've helped a lot of people in my time. And look, I can tell you that, you know, that this isn't the end, okay? And there's still a lot more gains to be made. There's so much more to accomplish. So if you guys are just getting into crypto for the first time, just relax. You know, you got in at a bad time. I've been trying to warn everybody about that, but, you know, I get it. You know, FOMO is one hell of a drug. And definitely, you know, you guys got to zoom out. Like Jacob said in the comments, zoom out. You know, we're still up. So just relax, take a chill pill. Don't cancel your membership. You know, there's a lot of people that's the first thing that they just think about is like, oh my God, I'm down on my crypto. I'm going to cancel my membership. Like, come on, man. You know, you gotta accept all this for what it is, man. You gotta take the good and the bad. Okay, there's so many bad influencers out there, guys, that are just literally telling you guys to FOMO in at 365. They're telling you guys to buy ETH at 3,800. They're telling you guys to buy Bitcoin at 120K. You know, I saw this one influencer on X. I'll leave her name anonymous, but she was like, "It's a great day to go long on BTC at 119." I'm just like, wow, dude. And these are the people that people flock to and they run to. They're like, here, take my money. I'm going to sign up to your Discord. And it's just crazy, guys. Look, I try to protect everybody that comes into my space. I try to protect everybody in the KGU because, look, man, I care about the people that spend money in our communities. You know, I know what it's like to take, you know, big losses. I've been at one point down 6 figures. It sucks. And I can tell you that if you're not disciplined and you don't have the right mindset, you will end up doing something that you regret, which is canceling memberships, running away from crypto, selling at a loss, and it happens all the time. So please stay focused and just keep your eyes on the long-term investing, you know, aspect of crypto. You know, we just got clarity. This is definitely not over with. We still have so much more to go, okay? So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go and kill the video off. Thank you so much for tapping in with me. Again, thank you for the prayers and blessings and everybody, you know, showing love to me. You know, guys, I always, you know, come on here to represent for you guys and do my best for you guys. Am I the most flashiest guy? Probably. But am I the most, you know, visual with my edits and, you know, all that fancy YouTuber stuff? Not at all. I pride myself on being, you know, edit free. If I stutter, if I fumble on my words, I'm not going to go back and re-edit that stuff. That's not me. I'd rather you guys see the full 100% jump man. Will I get stuff wrong? Of course. But if you stay with me and you guys stay in your subscriptions and you guys weather it out, you'll gain mental fortitude and you guys will gain the most of all the courage that you need to be in this space. Because if you don't have the balls to take a 10% dip, then you don't deserve 100% rip. And that's just a fact. All right, guys, we're going to close this out. Again, shout out to all my KGU family. Shout out to my Crypto Plebz family. And shout out to any new members that are watching this. Guys, look, invest in yourself. Health is wealth. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourself. And we'll talk to you guys later. And y'all stay blessed up.